Emma had always hated the old mirror in her grandmother's house. It was massive, antique, and framed with intricate carvings of twisted faces. The glass had dark spots, as if time itself had seeped into it, warping its reflection just slightly. Growing up, she always felt like the mirror didn't just show her reflection, it watched her. Now, years later, after her grandmother's passing, Emma had inherited the house. The mirror was still there, standing tall in the hallway, waiting for her. She thought about getting rid of it, but something about it made her hesitate. Perhaps nostalgia, or maybe something deeper, something she couldn't quite name. The first night back in the house, she avoided looking at it. She unpacked her bags, made a cup of tea, and convinced herself she was being ridiculous. The house creaked like all old houses did. The wind outside whispered against the windows, but that was normal. Then, just as she was about to go to bed, she heard it. A faint, almost imperceptible whisper. She froze, her grip tightening on the staircase railing. The whisper came again. From the mirror, Emma's skin prickled with cold fear. She turned, heart pounding, staring at the glass. Her own reflection gazed back, wide-eyed and pale. She waited. Nothing. With a shaky breath, she forced herself to walk past it. It's just in your head, she told herself. Just memories playing tricks on you. But deep down, she knew better. The next morning, she examined the mirror closely. The carvings in the frame seemed more pronounced, the faces more twisted than she remembered. The glass was unnervingly smooth, almost too perfect except for the small dark spots that dotted its surface. As she stared into it, something shifted. Her reflection blinked. She hadn't. Emma stumbled back, her breath catching in her throat. The reflection remained still, staring at her with an expression she wasn't making. Then it smiled. A slow, curling grin that spread across its face. Too wide, too wrong. Emma gasped and turned away. When she looked back, her reflection was normal again. She convinced herself it was stress, exhaustion, and overactive imagination. But as the days passed, things only got worse. She would catch glimpses of movement in the mirror when she wasn't looking directly at it. At night, she heard faint whispers echoing through the halls. The shadows in the house seemed deeper, stretching unnaturally, shifting when they shouldn't. Then, one night, she woke up to the feeling of being watched. Her bedroom door was ajar. A soft, cold draft brushed against her skin. Her heart hammered as she slowly turned her head toward the hallway. There, in the darkness, stood her reflection. Not in the mirror, in the flesh. It was her. But wrong. The thing wore her face, but its eyes were too hollow. Its lips stretched into that same sickening grin. It tilted its head, watching her, studying her. Then, in a voice that was almost hers, it whispered, "Let me in," Emma screamed, scrambling back, fumbling for the lamp. The light flicked on, and the figure was gone, just the mirror standing silently in the hallway, reflecting her pale, trembling form. Emma couldn't stay in the house anymore. She packed her bags, planning to leave the next morning. But as she lay awake, something inside her knew it wasn't over. At exactly 3 a.m., she heard it again. The whisper. "Emma, you can't leave." She sat up, her breath coming in shallow gasps. The air in the room felt heavy, thick, suffocating. Then came the soft creak of the floorboards. Something was moving. She reached for her phone, but before she could turn on the flashlight, the whisper returned. Closer this time. "I see you." Emma bolted out of bed, grabbing her keys. She ran down the hall, past the mirror, refusing to look at it. The front door wouldn't budge. She twisted the lock, yanked the handle. Nothing. Then, from the mirror behind her, a hand, pale, skeletal fingers stretched out of the glass, reaching for her. Emma screamed, slamming her fist against the door. The whispers grew louder, an eerie chorus of voices, laughing, taunting. "You can't run." With one final desperate pull, the door flew open. She stumbled outside into the cold night, gasping for air. When she turned back, the house was silent, still. The mirror stood in the hallway, reflecting the empty space where she had been. But in the glass, her reflection remained, watching, smiling, and then it stepped away from the mirror, leaving Emma behind. The next morning, Emma found herself in a hospital bed. She didn't remember how she got there. The doctors told her a neighbor found her unconscious outside her grandmother's house. She had been screaming. Emma tried to explain, but the words felt empty. No one believed her. How could they? A haunted mirror, a reflection that tried to replace her. It sounded absurd, but deep down, she knew it was real. They let her go after a few days. She returned to her apartment, far from that house, far from that mirror. But the nightmares followed her. Every night, she dreamed of the mirror, of the thing wearing her face, grinning at her from the other side of the glass. Then, one evening, as she was brushing her teeth, she looked up at her bathroom mirror and froze. Her reflection didn't move. For a moment, she could only stare, heart pounding in her chest. Then, slowly, it raised a hand and pressed its palm against the glass and whispered, "Let me in."